All right. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. This is Dan with Ledger Support. As usual, I'm here for our daily YouTube live support session. So I hope you guys are doing well. Before we start, as usual, please give me a little mic check. Just let me know if you can hear me okay, if the sound is fine, the video is good, there is no weird things happening in the live. Just want to make sure that you guys have the best experience. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm seeing a little feedback here. Yeah, cool. So yeah, thank you for the feedback. So as usual, I'm here for about an hour, so until 5:30 CT. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments, and I'll literally go question by question, and I'll try my best to answer all the questions. And yeah, I also have my computer with me, so I'll share my screen, and hopefully I can help you with your technical questions. If you want to ask me anything, it doesn't have to be necessarily about an issue you're facing with Ledger. It could be about crypto generally. That's also fine. I'm just here for you guys to help you out with anything that you want to know. Cool. All right. Thank you guys thank you, Jeremy and Lassie and Steven, for the feedback. Okay, so let's go. Let's start with the first question. So Lassie Sunday, hey, I would love some help trying to find my wallet. Okay, Lassie, so I can definitely help you, but I'll need a little more context on what's happening. So what kind of wallet, what's happening, what kind of devices you have, maybe a transaction ID, if you don't mind sharing this information, of course. Just a little more information about what's happening, so I can help you out, and then I'll see what I can do for you. Okay, next question is from Cruz. So I use a Ledger Nano X device, and I also have a brand new Nano S that I have not opened up. My question is, can I use the Nano S with the same Ledger app accounts that I currently have using my Nano X? Yes, the answer is yes, Cruz. You can absolutely do this. So let me just show you real quick how you would go about doing this. So you say you've got a brand new Nano S, okay, and you have a Nano X. All right, so let's pretend this is your Nano S, okay, that you just got, and this is your old Nano X, okay. So what's important is not actually the device, but it's the recovery phrase that is seeded into the device. Okay, so when you get your new Nano S, the only thing you have to do is to grab your Nano S and then punch or type the recovery phrase from your Nano X into your Nano S. By doing so, you will clone your private keys from your Nano X to your Nano S. And then you can just go ahead and connect your Nano S to Ledger Live and start using the same accounts as before. No changes required, nothing else to do besides typing your recovery phrase into the Nano S. That's all. That's all you have to do. If you're looking for a tutorial on how to do this, so let me show you real quick. We have documentation that actually describes that step by step. And so you go to support.ledger.com, okay, and then you type restore in the search bar, and go ahead and click this account, this article here, restore your Ledger accounts with your recovery phrase. And here you'll find all the different steps that you need to be able to, restore your accounts on any device. So again, the most important is not the device, is really the recovery phrase. Now keep in mind that if you're able to clone your recovery phrase from your Nano X to your Nano S with your recovery phrase, it means that anyone that has access to your recovery phrase will also be able to do the same thing and clone your private keys from their device from your device to their device. And that's the reason why you should never share your 20-forward recovery phrase with anyone. That's actually super dangerous, because anyone that has access to recovery phrase might be able to steal your funds. So I hope I answered your question here, and I'm going to move on to the next question from Jojo. Hi, after rumor that firmware update is sucking out my 24 words, I'm very scared of using my new ledger. What should I do? I'm very worried. So Jojo, no, it's not the case. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication when we launched the recover feature. Updating the firmware will not activate recover. Recover is completely optional. Okay, so first of all, recover is only available for Nano X users who have updated the firmware to version 2.2.1. Even then, even if you update the firmware to that version, that doesn't mean that recover will activate. And the last thing is that recover will not, as you said, suck out your keys. What it will do, it will give you the option, if you want to create a backup of your seed, right? By create fragments of your seed and yeah. So it's very, very important to understand that you're not creating, like, it's not like you update your firmware and your private keys will be sucked out or anything like that. This is not how it works. You're completely in control of the whole process. Okay, first of all, if you have a Nano X, you don't have to update the firmware. It's entirely up to you. Even if you update the firmware, and this will not activate recover, it's entirely up to you if you want to activate recover or not and create a backup. And Ledger doesn't have the ability to extract your private keys from your device. Again, you're completely in control. So you can safely, if you have Nano X, you can safely update to the latest version of the firmware. You have nothing to fear. The security of your device is still as before. Okay, so I hope that answered your question here. But if you have follow-up questions, don't hesitate. Okay, next question. I'm going to let me just like put up the volume a little bit so you guys can hear me better. Okay, great. So next next question. Next question is from Cruz. Okay, so it's a follow-up question. Also, regarding the first question, do you think Ledger can swap my new Nano S for Nano X instead? I could pay the difference. Yeah, Cruz, actually, there is a program for people that want to upgrade from a Nano S to a Nano X or Nano S Plus. So what you can do is, so first of all, you will keep your Nano S. You don't have to return your Nano S to us. You can just keep it and you can use it as a backup. What you can do, just get a hold of us via the Help Center. So you go to support.ledger.com. There's a little contact us button here at the bottom here. You click that, you start a conversation. Then you can either chat with a live agent or send us an email. Then just explain what's going on, that you want to upgrade from a Nano S to a Nano S Plus or Nano X, and we'll give you a discount code so you can get your new device. And again, you can keep the Nano S. I would say the Nano S is great as a backup. You know, make sure you've got both Nano S and Nano X with the same recovery phrase. So if something happens to one device, then you have the other device that you can use immediately, and you don't have to rely on any single point of failure. Okay, cool. Next question from Rick Caruso. On my Nano X, I swapped out an amount of DGB, so I'm guessing digibyte, to fund my parent account. I'm assuming that meant Ethereum. Anyway, it has to show up yet. Oh, interesting, Rick. So DGB. I think DGB is actually its own blockchain, so it's not. Oops, sorry, it's not on the. So let me check. DGB. Yeah, DGB is like its own blockchain, I think. So it's not on the Ethereum network. Yeah. So see, like DGB has its own chain, so it shouldn't be sent to your Ethereum account. That being said, I do think that let me go into Ledger Live to see what's going on here. Okay, I'm gonna go into my Ledger, attempt to create a DGB account, and Rick, you can tell me if that looks familiar, if that's what you did to create your account. Okay, so I'm in the manager here, also called my Ledger DGB. Yeah, so I installed the DGB app here. you can see like it's progressing on my device. Okay, it's installed. Now I can go into accounts, add accounts, and I can choose DGB. Oops, sorry, that was the other one. DGB, continue, and then open the app to create my account. And then from there, I'll be able to also create an address. So I don't know if that's what you did. So see, like here's the DGB account, and then I can go ahead and receive. And I'm gonna get an address that shows on my device as well. So it starts with DGB1 and then characters. So what you should do if you want to send DGB to your device would be to copy this address here and then use that from the exchange to send it to your ledger. That is if we're talking about DGB, the coin. Maybe there's a token on Ethereum that's also named DGB. If that's the case, you can just drop your transaction ID in the chat if you don't mind it being public. I can look at it on chain for you and we can try to find out where the coins have gone, if you of course don't mind sharing this information. Okay, cool. So Rick, waiting for you to tell me what happened here. Okay, next questions were, yeah, Steven, Jeremy, and Lassie confirming they can hear me, so all good. Thank you guys for the feedback. Next, Steven again, 77. Sorry, it's not Steven, it's 77. Sorry about that. Will there be plans in the future to sell any other crypto through Ledger Live? Yes, mate, there are plans, and I know exactly what you mean. Ledger Live has 1 million on-ramp, but it has very few off-ramps, so it's easy to buy into crypto, but it's not easy to sell. That being said, I think there are some... so currently it's only Bitcoin via Coinify if you use the buy-sell option here, but there's actually a few more sort of hidden options here in the Discover section. So first of all, we have BuyT. Let me see. Depending on what you want to sell, so there is a app called BuyT here that will let you sell ETH and see like ETH, Litecoin, and Bitcoin for euros or Swiss francs. Maybe not what you're looking for, but it's possible. And I think there is another one that will let you sell. Let me see. I think I saw it last time. I was like, this is cool. There's a new option to sell. Maybe this one. Yeah, here we go. On Meta. And this one is for Indian customers. So I don't know if that's your demographics, if you are based in India, but yes, if you have an Indian bank account, then you will be able to sell like quite a lot of crypto here into bank accounts. Maybe that's useful for you, maybe not. But yeah, definitely there will be more options in the future. I know exactly what you mean. We need more off-ramps as well. It's nice to hold crypto, but it's also nice to take profits from time to time, I think. Okay, next. So Lassie. Okay, I've got a new PC and tried to connect my ledger. While updating the firmware, I accidentally reset the Nano S. Now I found what I think is the right recovery phrase, but can't find my wallet. I found 2 recovery phrases, but none of them have my main account on it. Okay, Lassie. Yeah, indeed, that sounds like you might have the wrong recovery phrase here. Because if you had the right recovery phrase, then Ledger Live should be able to find your account. What you can try, however, is, okay, so maybe Ledger Live will not show you the same account. Why don't you try something like a third-party wallet instead? So let's say, for example, you're looking for an Ethereum account. What I would suggest is maybe like, connect your Ledger device to MetaMask and try to look for your Ethereum account if you have an Ethereum account via MetaMask and see if you can find your coins that way. I would say like if Ledger Live cannot find your accounts, if MetaMask cannot find your accounts, then it's probably the recovery phrase that has an issue. Either you have multiple recovery phrases, you lost one and it's not the correct recovery phrase, or maybe there is one word in a recovery phrase that's not correctly backed up, or when you restore your recovery phrase into your device, then maybe you type the wrong word So that happens as well. I've seen that in the past. Now, that being said, you might also want to make sure that when you restored your device, you actually restored the device with the recovery phrase. You did not create a new recovery phrase with your device. I've seen that issue as well in the past, where people would think that they were, restoring their device and they have their old recovery phrase and they go ahead and they restore the device, reset, they restore it. But instead of selecting restore from recovery phrase from the options menu, then they select set up as a new device. And next thing you know, they have a new recovery phrase in the device and they can't find their coins, of course, because the private keys in the device are different all of a sudden. So you might also want to check that. Now, if you still cannot, if you follow all these different tips, you still cannot find your accounts, I'm happy to help you and try to see if I can find them for you. But you'll have to submit a ticket so I can find your case. And so you would go to support.ledger.com, okay? And then there is a button here that's hidden behind my camera here that says contact us. You click contact us button, click new conversation, and you write me an email, basically. Say you want to speak to Dan. So give me as much information as you can so I can help you out. Once you finish writing an email, you'll get a 6-digit number in your email inbox. You can tag those numbers and you can drop them in the chat or in the comments in this video, so I know where to find you and where to reply to your tickets. So I hope that makes sense. But before you write an email, I would say maybe try those different tips. Make sure you don't have multiple recovery phrases, things like that. And again, try to find your account via different wallets, not just Ledger Live. Try a third-party wallet as well. See if you can find your accounts there. If not, ticket. Jojo, thanks Dan, you're amazing. Yeah, thank you, Joe. You're welcome. I hope I answered your question here. Lassie, like same follow-up of the question. Not the accounts you were looking for. So again, like follow the steps that I suggested and let me know if that works. If not, submit a ticket. Okay, next, Marukat27. Nyan coin does not show the correct value in Ledger Live versus CoinMarketCap. Thoughts? Okay, this is probably, it happens all the time on Ledger Live. Ledger Live is not great. I mean, it does a reasonably good job, but it has a lot of bugs when it comes to showing the correct value in balance sometimes. So this is probably what we call a counter value bug, where the balance amount is wrong. What I would recommend, maybe, so let me check what Nyan is as a coin. So I've got a little more context here. Okay, so there's a bunch of coins called Nyan. I'm gonna assume that you're talking about this one, the one at the top, the meme coin here. That's probably an ERC20 token on Ethereum. Okay, so here I'm checking if it's supported in Ledger Live. So if it's, okay, so this coin here is not supporting Ledger Live, so that might be why you don't see it, if that's your issue, because it's in your account, but Ledger is not able to detect it. If you're talking about a different Nyan coin, let me know so I can check. But typically, if it's the balance value that's wrong, that it's an issue with Ledger Live, I can escalate that for you. In the meantime, what you can do is just instead of staying in looking at your balance via the account tab, you can go into Discover here, and then you can go into Zerion. Where's Zerion? Yeah, Zerion is here. So select Zerion. And make sure to select the account that stores your Nyan coins, so for example Ethereum. And once you've done that, you'll be able to see all your coins, all your coins on all the different blockchains that have the same address. So typically, like Nyan should show here. You'll be able to see it with the correct balance. So let me see if that works for you. If it shows the correct balance in Zerion. If not, just give me more information about what coins you're talking about, and we'll take it from there. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm a little slow answering question. Okay, so live shows a much higher value for Nyan towards the CoinMarketCap. Okay, yeah. So that's definitely a bug. Nyan meme coin. Yeah, so definitely a bug with Ledger Live. I'll escalate that for you. And in the meantime, just use Zerion. You should be able to see the correct value in Zerion. Thanks for raising that. I'm gonna take notes of that so I can escalate to the dev. Thank you. Okay, next, Bobby. Hi Dan, any news on Ledger's partnership with Artifact? We haven't heard anything since NFT pairs. Oh, I don't know. I'm not really involved into the NFT scene here. I don't know. I would say you can probably, the best way to stay in touch with this side of Ledger, you know, the NFT market, is probably to follow our main account at Ledger. So wait. So let me show you real quick. So on Twitter, just type @Ledger, and you follow us on Twitter, and you can actually ask the you tag the Ledger team, and someone from marketing will get back to you about Artifact. I haven't heard anything personally. Be careful when you're on Twitter. There's a lot of fake Ledger accounts, so don't get phished. Okay, don't. If someone approaches you and asks you to DM them or to share your 24 recovery phrase, this is a scam. Someone's trying to scam you, so just be super careful on Twitter. I just also want to double check real quick in Ledger Live, see if maybe there is something about Artifact in the Ledger market section here. Who knows, there might be something coming soon. Okay, view Artifact in Ledger. Okay, so there's a blog post. Okay, there's a blog post, and yeah, okay, so maybe read the blog post and see if that answers your question. If not, just tag us on Twitter. Someone from marketing will get back to you. Okay, next. So next, Mike. So when XDC on Ledger Live was that third party? That's a good question, Mike. I don't know, unfortunately. We've been at support. We've been nagging the developers to launch a integration support for XDC. I guess it's being, lost in the sea of different projects that we still, that are in the queue. XDC might be a lower priority, but in my opinion, it should be. You guys. I know you guys have been waiting for a long time. I know right now the best way to manage an XDC account with a Ledger is via Tahoe, and yeah, Tahoe is pretty solid. Actually, we just pushed some content on Twitter on the support accounts about Tahoe and Ledger. In my opinion, that's the best way to manage your XDC. So you can go on the Ledger_support account, and this tweet here has a video that will show you how to create an account. But to answer your question, I have no idea when that's going to be launched in Ledger Live. I would like it as well. Cool. All right, next question. 7.7 Cardano sell. I don't think I've got an option for you, unfortunately. I think unless that Indian app will let you do it, then I don't think there is a good way to do it right now. But I'll escalate that to the product team, so hopefully they can find they can create more off ramps. Another way would be to, of course, like you swap Cardano for something else, and then you sell that. You swap for Bitcoin, and then you sell your Bitcoin via Coinify. But that's a lot of steps, and you might not necessarily get like a good user experience and a good price as well, because you'll effectively be doing two swaps, which is not good. Yeah, Merucat. I think I'm surprised that Nyan is actually it's not even showing up on the supported. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong. Let me check for a second, because there's two lists. Okay, so 9 here, maybe it's on this list. Okay, so yeah, okay, it is supported. Okay, it is supported in Ledger Live, but I guess the developers like botched the price data part. So I'll escalate definitely. So hopefully that can be fixed. 7 Australia. Yeah, Australia. Yeah, that's gonna be complicated. I don't think there is a good option for you, mate. Lassie. Okay, got your ticket. Thank you for the ticket. Let me write this down real quick. 53939. Okay, 3939. Give me until tomorrow morning to get back to you, Lassie. Okay, because after this AMA, that's the end of my shift basically after this AMA. So I'll get back to you tomorrow morning. If you have any other information, you can just reply to the email that you got from us. If you want to add anything to the information you shared, and I'll send you an email tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Next X9. I've staked Tron in Ledger Live Nano S Plus, but I'm unable to unstake them and site is blocked. I don't know what to tell. Okay, yeah. Yeah, don't worry. It's because the latest version of Ledger Live doesn't support the new staking system called Tron V2. That's the reason why. I'm sorry. So so I don't know if you knew X9, but the Tron network has upgraded its staking system. There is now 2 ways to stake. There's staking V1 and staking V2. V1 is deprecated, so you cannot unstake via the V1 system anymore. No, you can unstake, but that's the only thing you can do. And if you want to restake, you'll have to use the V2 system, which is not supported in Ledger Live, unfortunately. So that's why, like in Ledger Live, you can't. Ledger Live doesn't support V2, so you can't do anything with Ledger Live anymore. However, what you can do is you can connect your Ledger device to a Tron scan, and you can do all your staking, restaking, delegating energy and bandwidth via Tron scan, which is a third-party wallet, which is really, really good. I would recommend. So let me show you how to do it actually, because there's quite a few steps. First of all, you should have the Tron app installed on the device. So let me find it real quick. Yep, so the Tron app, see here, up, I'm going to open it. Then I'm going to look for Tron scan. Okay. Now on Tron scan, I'm going to hit connect wallet, Ledger, connect. I'm going to get a prompt on the device. Okay, confirm. Here's the prompt, approve, boom. And now I am in my Ledger accounts via Tron scan. Okay. So Tron, you can think of Tron scan as just like Ledger Live, but specialized for Tron. Okay, once I'm here, I can, I would go into my accounts. So I click on my, asset management, sorry. So click on asset management and select stake 1. And somewhere here under my stake, your stake will be here, listed here. And there will be a button that says unstake. So you can unstake that thing, okay? The unstake will be instantaneous. I think there is no longer a 21-day delay for stake 1.0. It's instantaneous. So once you finish unstaking that, you can immediately restake via this tab here in your Ledger device. Okay, so you can decide if you want energy or bandwidth and how much staking, how much TRX you want to stake, and then you can vote once you stake, you get votes, and then you can vote for the validator, so you can get TRX reward. So this is how you would do it. If that's a little confusing, don't worry. There is a article that describes all these different steps, and the article is on the Help Center at support@ledger.com. It's called Tron Stake 2.0 not supported. I'm going to share it with you right now and post it in the chat so you can find it. X9. So if you have any issue, I'll be back here on Thursday on the live as well, so you can ask me, or you can send us a ticket, or ask us any question, or you can even leave your questions in the comments as well. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. But don't worry, your coins are safe, okay? Your coins are safe. They're still in your device. It's just Ledger Live that's not able to do staking operations because of the V2 upgrade. That's all. Lastly, I'm trying to find a Bitcoin wallet. What is some good alternative to Ledger Live? Yes, good alternatives. I would recommend Electrum. We have an article in the Help Center. So yeah, set up and use Electrum. That one is solid. Another one would be Sparrow. It's a little more advanced. There's more features, but it's also pretty good. Probably more features than Electrum. Also feels a little sleeker. Electrum is a very nerdy type product. Let me share that in the chat as well for you. I would say, try both actually, and see if you can find your accounts using Electrum and Sparrow. If you can't find your accounts after using both, then probably it's an issue with the recovery phrase. In this case, like, I won't be of much help, unfortunately, if it's the recovery phrase. Apart from telling you, like, hey, you need to find the correct recovery phrase until you find your account. But you can start with that. Okay, Rick. Okay, Rick, there was a message, but it's been retracted, so I'm not sure what it was about. Okay, moving on. So Mecha 360. Did MetaMask fix the problem of Ledger on Firefox not connecting? No, Mecha. It's still ongoing. It's actually not MetaMask. The issue is not with MetaMask. It's with Firefox. Firefox, they completely deprecated U2F. So U2F is a piece of technology that allows your Ledger device to connect to MetaMask. And Firefox decided to completely kill U2F. And yeah, so since they decided to make that change, then you can no longer connect your Ledger device to MetaMask on Firefox. There is no workaround. It's entirely on the Firefox team to decide to reintroduce U2F or not, or support alternative to U2F, for example, Web HID, which is supported in Chrome, but it's up to them to do it or not. And MetaMask doesn't have the power to force them. We don't have the power to force them. So I would suggest there's different things you can do. You can move to Chrome if you don't mind, or Brave if you don't like Chrome. Another way, you could download an old version of Firefox. So you need a version of Firefox that's older than 1.14.0, because the 1.14.0 is the one that killed U2F. So you'll need see, for example, yeah, you'll need like Firefox 1.12.0. This one will probably support U2F. So yeah, that's how you can do it. Okay, next, Bobby. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, no worries, Bobby. Mike, thanks. Yeah, thank you, Mike. 7. Thanks, 7. Thank you, Mike. Next, Bonche. Sorry, I'm butchering your name here. Can we create offline wallets? I'm not sure what you mean by offline, but by definition, all the wallets that you create with your Ledger device are offline, in the sense that the private keys are kept within your device, within the secure elements, and they never have access to the internet. So yes, if you create a wallet with Ledger Live and your Ledger device, or with your Ledger device in a third-party wallet like MetaMask, this wallet is technically offline. Okay, it never has access to the internet. So yes, yes, the answer is yes. Next, Black Floyd. Yes, Cruz, I'm sorry, I skipped your question. That is true. What are the steps I need to do if I want to sell my crypto on Ledger Live so I can send it to my bank account instead of the exchange platform I used to buy my crypto? Okay, good question. It depends on the crypto, because we were touching on this earlier. Ledger Live, lots of ways to buy, but not a lot of off-ramps. So here's some of the apps you can consider that will help you sell your crypto to your bank account. There aren't many, unfortunately. So for example, if you go to the buy sell button here, you select sell, the only option available is Bitcoin. Okay, So you could sell your Bitcoin, and then the third-party provider is Coinify, and it's the service that will let you cash out, so to speak. So yeah, you can use Coinify, but only for Bitcoin. If you have something else than Bitcoin, then you can try using, which is the one I was telling about. So you can try to use Byte. Byte, and this one will let you sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, or LTC for euros or Swiss francs. This is very niche though, not sure that's what you have in mind. Last option would be to use, let me see, what was the name of the app? The Indian, Ometa here. So you can use Ometa, but you need an Indian bank account. I don't know if that's your case. This one supports more currency, but I'm not sure if that's super useful. However, something else I'm just thinking of, if what you want is just to go into dollars, but you don't mind keeping your dollars on chain, what you can do is just do a swap, right? You could swap your currency. For example, if you've got ETH, you could swap your ETH for USDC or USDT, which is equivalent to holding dollars in your crypto in your account, right? I mean, the security model, you still, it's a blockchain asset, so it's not exactly like having USDC in your bank account. So there is a slightly different security model, but at least you'll be holding a stable asset and not a crypto asset. So that's another way to escape, volatile assets into something more stable, like a stable coin. If that's what you have in mind, you can use something like PairSwap to, for example, swap, I don't know, just like BNB for DAI or USDC, right? And yeah, you can do a swap and get that in your wallet. But maybe that's not what you have in mind. Maybe you want just cold hard cash in your bank account. Okay. And of course, the last option is always to send it to an exchange and cashing out from the exchange, but that's not something that a lot of people like to do. Next. Okay, so Black Floyd 95. Hi Dan. Hi Floyd. Are you aware of any updates on the future possibility to keep Kadena on the Nano S? I'm so sorry, mate. I don't have any update, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on with Kadena. I asked yesterday because I got the same question yesterday, didn't get an answer, so I don't really know how it's going on and what's the roadmap. Again, Kadena, I'm sure it's coming, but I don't know like how fast this is gonna come. I can give you a quick tip. If you want to talk to developers directly, you can join our Discord. It's at, let me find it for you. It's just called Ledger Open. That's our official Discord. And on the Discord, you'll be able to talk to developers directly. A lot of them are in the Discord, so maybe they will give you like a better answer, the one I just gave you. Here we go. Here's the invite. So yeah, you could join Discord and ask us. Okay, maybe that will speed up the process a little bit if developers realize that a lot of people want the Kadena roadmap to accelerate a little bit. Okay, next, Mecha, when what ledger will have Pulse Chain? So Ledger Live doesn't support Pulse Chain. It will eventually, I think, but not now. But your ledger can hold PLS coins, but you need to use a third-party wallet. I think in this case MetaMask, and there is a Help Center article that describes the process, which is here. So I'm going to share it with you. Mecha. At least that will give you a workaround until we properly support it in Ledger Live. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe to use your ledger with something like MetaMask. There's also a video that shows you like all the steps to send PLS to MetaMask. Rick, thank you for your help. Yeah, no worries, Rick. I hope I answered your question here. I see you retracted a message, so I don't know if you had more information to share or not, but if you do, like the message you shared before that was retracted. So I'm not sure if maybe you've solved your issue. I'm not sure. If not, please repost the message so I can follow up. Okay, next, Mintun. Has ledger recovery stopped? No, well, so ledger recover is not live yet, so that's very, very important. And it's the product still exists, but it's not live yet, so nobody can use it, and it's only available for Nano X users. And again, recover is perfectly optional. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. Okay, even if you update the firmware, that will not automatically trigger recover. So if you don't like the service, which is perfectly fair, then you can just ignore it, and that's not gonna change. That's not gonna change the security model of your device. Ledger cannot force you to use the service. If you don't like it, just don't use it, and that's perfectly fair. 7, skip cruise question. Yeah, I think I did. I did, but I think I answered the question now. Cruise again. Do you have a Twitter so I can follow you? Do you help people too if they DM you? Very helpful. I don't have a Twitter, Cruise. I have a personal Twitter, but I'm not exactly allowed to promote my own stuff here because I represent the company. But if you want, you could follow our Ledger support account, which is here. So let me share that with you. The thing with Twitter, so 2 things that are important with Twitter. First of all, we never DM. So we'll never DM you. If someone DMs you and tells you that they are from Ledger support, they will not, they're just scammers, and they're just trying to scam you. So like never, you'll never receive a DM from us. Also, there is tons of fake accounts, fake scam accounts on Twitter. So you have to be super careful, okay? The rule of thumb and the most important rule, a Ledger employee, anyone with good intention will never ask you for your 24-word recovery phrase. Anyone asking you to type, share, or whatever, or disclose your recovery phrase is trying to scam you, okay? So be super careful. That being said, if you want to follow us, it's at ledger_support. It's this account. Again, there are tons of fake accounts. This is us, okay? We have a little badge here. We have 55.7K followers, and you can tag us and ask us questions, and someone will get back to you directly. So let me share that with you. That being said, we also do daily support sessions like that. Okay, so if you have more questions, then you can just show up to the session tomorrow. I won't be on. It will be the US team that will host it, but I'll be back on Thursday, and I'll be back on Monday and Tuesday next week as well. So yeah, if you like me, then you can catch me on those times. If not, you can just attend one of the sessions that are hosted by the US team. Okay, next, Cruise. Yeah, thanks. Okay, how to set up Ledger on offline? Yeah, you can set it up offline, so you don't even need a computer to set it up. The only thing you'll need to do is just like power the device. You can plug in a wall, for example, power the device, create your 24-word recovery phrase, and that's it. But the problem you're gonna have is like once you created your recovery phrase, which is good, that happens offline. But if you want to actually create accounts, then you'll need some sort of connection with the blockchains, and those will require the internet. So yes, you can set up the device completely offline, but if you want to do anything with your device, then you'll need Ledger Live will need to have access to the internet. But again, the device itself is not connected to the internet. Caruso, if I lost, I'm sorry, if I lost Digibyte someday, goes up in value to $, I'm going to be sad. Yeah, man. I hope you didn't lose your, let's not say that you lost your Digibyte, because I'd love to have a look at the transaction and try to help you find your coins, okay, before we conclude that you lost your Digibytes or not. Maybe they have gone to different accounts. that is secured by your Ledger device, but that is not supported in Ledger Live. That's why they don't show in Ledger Live. So before we conclude that they're lost or not, let's give it a chance to find your coins. Again, Rick, get a hold of us via the Help Center at support.ledger.com. Open a ticket, and you can ask to talk with Dan in your ticket, or you can, once you get the ticket number, you can drop that in the comments so I know where to find you. Okay. Okay, next. Wensen, how can I swap BNB to BTC? Thanks, Dan. BNB to BTC, that's a good question. I don't think there are a lot of options in Ledger Live to do this. BNB to BTC. I think if you want to do it, so there's two ways to do it. You can do it via an exchange, of course. You send your BTC to Binance, for example, you swap it and you swap the BTC back. That's one way to do it. The second way to do it might be via the swap. Let me check. Okay, so I'm having an issue with Ledger Live here. Sorry guys, I'm not able to show you my Ledger Live anymore. I don't know why there is an issue with. Anyway, I'll just answer your question. No worries. So the first thing you can do is, you can send your coins to an exchange and do the transaction here. The second thing you can do is use something like ThorSwap. ThorSwap will let you do cross-chain transactions like that in a decentralized fashion. There is another one called Rango. Actually, you know what? This one is pretty good. It's called Rango. It supports Ledger as well. And I do think they support both BNB and BTC. So I think you might be able to. Let me check real quick for you. So this is Rango. It's just another DEX, right? So here's BNB, and you wanted BTC. There you go. BTC on Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay, BTC. Yep, it's possible. Check this out. Okay, BNB on Binance Smart Chain to Bitcoin on Bitcoin, so you can do it. So just use Rango. You'll need to connect your wallets to Rango via MetaMask to initiate the transaction with BNB, and then you'll need to provide your Bitcoin address as well from your device. Yep. So let me share that with you. Winston. Don't worry, it's safe. It's perfectly safe. Black Floyd, thanks Dan. Yeah, thank you, mate. Thanks for the question. Next, Closet Miner. So what blockchain is the Ledger key stored? What happens if Ledger company goes out of business? I do not understand how one wallet can keep all my private keys for each currency under just one key. Okay, that's a good question. So actually, it's the device. So it's a very good question, but yes, your device is able to store private keys for any number of blockchains, as long as the blockchain is supported, has an app. So you can see like my device here has multiple apps, right? So there's the Tron app, the Sui app, the XRP app, Ethereum app, Bitcoin app, so on and so forth. There's a bunch of apps, and those apps can be downloaded using Ledger Live. So once your device has the app, it will be able to generate private keys for that particular blockchain. And so once that private keys is generated, then it is stored on the device securely, right? And so your device will keep those private keys for all these different blockchains. And the beauty of those devices, like they're able to create as many private keys, aka as many accounts as you want, and on as many blockchains as you want, as provided that there's an app for it. So this is high level, how it works. Now, if Ledger goes out of business tomorrow, that's not a big deal. And the reason is because your private keys actually are represented by your 24-word recovery phrase, which is the list of 24 words that you initially wrote down when you set up the device for the first time. this list is actually more important than the device, because this list is a representation of all your private keys, all the private keys that your device will eventually ever generate with that seed inside the device. Okay, so if, for example, Ledger were to go out of business, your device will still work, first of all, okay, and you will be able to, let's say Ledger Live, the software no longer works, no worries, you can still use your device with any software wallet out there. You just connect your device to MetaMask, for example, and you'll be able to access your accounts. The security will be the same, okay, just as secure as Ledger Live. Now, let's say even Ledger Live, let's say even Ledger devices are no longer around, okay? Catastrophic events, Ledger disappears, there is no Ledger Live, there is no Ledger devices anymore. Well, it's still okay because you still have your 24 recovery phrase. Again, this is the most important. You have your recovery phrase, you have your private keys. So what you would do is you would go buy like a different device, like a Trezor, for example, a cold card, whatever other hardware wallet that you want, and then you'll be able to punch your 24 recovery phrase into your new device and have access to your accounts. Okay. So yeah, I hope I answered your question, Daniel, here. But this is the beauty of having your private keys. Now, keeping in mind that, sorry, there was closed miner. Keeping in mind that anyone with access to your private keys, to your recovery phrase, will be able to do the same thing and access your coins. Okay, so it's super, super important that you never share this closed type, this recovery phrase with anyone, because anyone with access to the recovery phrase will be able to have access to your account, even if they don't have access to your device. So again, that's super important. Okay, Daniel, next. Hello, I'm trying to send Quant coin from Ledger to Binance Exchange. Not possible to make this transfer, Bitcoin Ledger. I don't have enough Ethereum for fees. So here I'm guessing that, so I think what's happening here is that you actually have two different accounts. You have one Ethereum account with your Quant and another Ethereum account with your ETH. But what you want is your Quant and your ETH coins to be in the same account, because the account needs your ETH to be able to pay for the transaction fee. Okay, so if that's your setup and you have your Quant in one account and your ETH in the other account, what you can do is you take your ETH and you send your ETH to the account that has your Quant. Okay, and then you'll be able to, once that account has the Quant and the ETH, then you'll be able to move out your Quant out of your account. Yeah, so yeah, and you're saying like you have $70 of Ethereum. Again, it's probably because you have your ETH and your Quant in different Ethereum accounts. Everything, best practice is to keep everything in the same account, okay? So you don't run into this kind of issues. Closed miner, how would I recover individual keys to individual key blockchains? So again, just to expand on what I was saying, all your keys to all your blockchains are represented by this 24 recovery phrase, okay? This recovery phrase is actually, the words on your recovery phrase is actually a human readable version of a very long random number that your device generated when you first set it up. So of course this number is very long, so that's why we don't give it to you as a number, because it would be so difficult for you to back it up on a piece of paper, right? Instead, we transform this number into a recovery phrase that only you have access to, and this is how you're able to back up this random number. This random number is used by your device to generate your private keys, okay? So this is how it works from a high level. So the only thing that you need really is the random number, aka the 24 recovery phrase. If you're interested in this concept, is called HD wallet. Okay, this concept of having one random number, also called a seed, that will generate a tree of private keys. It's called HD wallet. There is a website called, I think, Learn Me Bitcoin. Let me check. There is a very good, yeah, that's the one. So there is a very good website that explains the concept of HD wallet for beginners. And it's actually really, really well explained. So let me share that with you. Maybe that will help you understand what's going on. better in your device. And this article is specifically about Bitcoin, but it's the same thing for any account, not just for Bitcoin. All right, guys. So a few more questions, and then I'm gonna have to jump off. 77. With the network fees with Ledger to transfer out to an exchange, what are the threshold with amount sending? Was it decided at the time of the transaction? It's decided at the time of the transaction. Basically, Ledger will try to make a best guess of, Ledger will look at previous transactions and will try to estimate, okay, if I want to create a transaction that's going to be successful, considering the amount of congestion at the time of the transaction, what amount of fee should I pay for this transaction? So Ledger will try to predict that fee amount, and this is the fee amount that you will see in Ledger Live. And then of course Ledger will give you like many different options. They will say, hey, if you want a slow transaction, that this amount of fee is reasonable. If you want a normal transaction, use this amount of fee. If you want a fast transaction, we recommend this amount of fee. If you want to learn more about fees, especially on Bitcoin, like I find Bitcoin fees like fascinating for some reason. There is this website called mempool.space where you can see the fee market on Bitcoin like live, almost like in real time, with you see like all the fees that are recommended given the current congestion on the Bitcoin network. You can see the blocks being produced. It's really cool, and you can see like real-time mempool. You can see the Bitcoin network is actually extremely congested, right? See like the transaction fees on Bitcoin are very, very high, and that's because of ordinals. Like people are minting NFTs on Bitcoin left and right, and that's the reason why the fees on Bitcoin are so expensive. It's good for the network, that being said, right? Because you have to pay the miners, so they stay around to mine blocks, but it's not really good for the user because the transactions are very expensive right now. Let me share that with you, Seven, so you can take a look. That's for the Bitcoin network. If you want to find an equivalent for Ethereum, then there is this website called useweb3 /gas, and this one has also information about gas fees on Ethereum. So I'm going to share that with you as well. That's helpful to decide when you want to do your transaction or not. Typically, the best time to send a transaction on any network is at the weekend, early in the morning, because that's when the networks is the quietest. Okay. All right. A few more questions, guys, and I'm going to have to go. We'll have a session tomorrow as well. So if your question didn't make it, if I didn't have time to get to your questions, there's going to be another live session tomorrow hosted by the US team. So you can ask them your question. I'll be back personally on Thursday if you want to talk to me specifically. Okay, so Marek said like, hi, when can we expect the open sourcing of the Ledger Recover feature? Yeah, stay tuned. This is coming soon. I don't have a specific ATA to give you, but yeah, definitely this is something that we are going to open source very soon. We're going to release a white paper and source code as well for Recover. So just follow our Ledger account, and Ledger support will announce the open sourcing there. But this is definitely coming. Paper Doll, hello, is Ledger gonna support Caspa? Thank you, Caspa. I've heard of it. Oh, okay, it's its own blockchain. I don't know. I will have to ask. I don't think there is a firm roadmap for it. Eventually, I'm guessing we will integrate it, but I don't think there is an app for it. Happy to check that out for you, though. All right, last question, guys, because it's over my time. Any news? So Buddy X, any news on releasing some open source information? Okay, for Recover. Yeah. So as I was saying earlier, there's still the plan to open source the white paper and the source code. Definitely like follow our account, so Ledger @Ledger_support, and the normal account @Ledger as well, because this is where we are going to share the white paper and the information about the source code as well. So yeah, this is still the case. Marcus is asking, with a subpoena, can Ledger extract my private keys? Ledger can never extract your private keys. That's very important, right? If you want to know more about this particular topic of subpoena, there is an FAQ on Ledger, on support.ledger.com. There's a very good FAQ that deals with this specific question if you're interested. So I would say just go read that. That will probably answer that question for you. But again, guys, like, recovery is perfectly, it's optional, right? If you don't like it, don't use it. It's fine. If you don't use it, nothing's gonna change for you. So you'll never have to worry about this kind of stuff. So yeah. Okay. All right, one or two more, maybe Mecha 360. What's that message on Ledger? I'm not sure what you mean, Mecha. Not sure what you mean. Body X. Yeah, so that's the correct answer. Ledger cannot extract your private keys at all. This is not how it works. This is not how Ledger Recover works. And again, Ledger Recover is perfectly optional. So if you don't like it, I would say just don't use it. That's perfectly fine. George, is it safe to stake ETH with Lido? Yes, it's safe. It's safe. Lido is one of the biggest staking provider. Lido is great if you have less than 32 ETH, and you'll get STETH in return. STETH is a token, ERC20 token that represents your staked ETH and accrues some value. If you don't like STETH, holding STETH anymore, you can just swap it back for ETH using PairSwap in the Discover section in Ledger Live. So a very good user experience. By the way, George, there is an article specifically about STETH withdrawals and swapping and things like that you might find useful. I have STETH myself. As long as you take care of your wallet, then you're good. All right, guys. So I'm really gonna have to go, guys. Last question, and then again, two things. There'll be another live session tomorrow, okay, with the live team, the US team. So there'll be there's actually a schedule on support.ledger.com that you can look up. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong article. Yeah, this article here, Ledger Weekly Customer Schedule. See, so tomorrow there will be a live on YouTube. Sorry, it's here. Live on YouTube at 4 p.m. PST. That's 1 a.m. CT. The next day, so you can tune in to that. If not, myself, I'll be back on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Okay, so you can also leave your questions in the comments as well. I'll get back to me, or someone else from the team will get back to you. Okay, guys, so I'm going to leave it here, and I'll see you on Thursday. Okay, but again, if you wanna, the next live session will be tomorrow on Wednesday, hosted by the US team. So keep an eye on the YouTube channel. This is where you'll see a new video with a notification bell, so you get a notification when the live goes live tomorrow. That being said, thank you so much again for showing up. I really love answering your questions, and it's really great that you guys keep showing up to those lives. I'll see you on Thursday. Take care. Don't share your 24-word recovery phrase. Okay, don't get scammed. Please be careful. Tell your friends as well that they need to be careful with their recovery phrase. Stay safe, and I wish you a good evening. Bye-bye.